Hey there, in today's video we're going over the 2022-2023 TMSCA General Math Test number 4, Part 4. Let's do it. Next, 5n squared times 2n to the power of 4 to the power of 3. Alright, you have to break this problem down, otherwise it can get tricky. So we can write this as 5n squared times 2n power 4 to the power of 3. But which one do we do first? Well, according to the order of operation, we always do the exponents first. So we have to do this 3 before we multiply it. So how do we put this 3 into here? Well, when putting a power to a power, you just multiply the powers. So this n power 4 becomes n power 12. And then we could just do 2 power 3, which is 8. So this becomes 8n power 12. And now we just multiply it by 5n squared. So we can break this down. 5 times 8 is 40, and now we have to do n squared times n power 12. When you're multiplying two variables or numbers that are the same, and you're trying to get the exponents, all you have to do is add them because they're multiplying. So 2 plus 12 is 14. So it's 40 n power 14, and that's your answer. Next, what is the slope of any line parallel to the line with an equation of 9x minus 3y is equal to 36? Alright, so we first need to understand this question. When it's asking for the slope of any line parallel to this line, 9x minus 3y equals 36, that just means it has the same slope because parallel lines will always have the same slope. So first let's turn this equation, 9x minus 3y equals 36, from standard form, what it's in now, to slope-intercept form. So first we can subtract 9x from both sides to make this negative 3y is equal to 36 minus 9x. Now we can divide out the negative 3. This becomes y is equal to negative 12 plus 3x, or y is equal to 3x minus 12. Now we just take the slope of this equation, which is the value in front of x, so 3. So since this is the slope of this equation, that means the parallel lines, that slope of that will also have a slope of 3. So that's your answer. Next, if the number 50 is decreased by 40%, and if that result is then increased by 40%, what is the final result? Alright, so first let's decrease 50 by 40%. So 50 times 4 tenths, which is also 40%. 50 times 4 is 200. 200 divided by 10 is 20. So that means 40% of 50 is 20. So we can just subtract 20 from 50. That becomes 30. Alright, now we have to increase this by 40%. So we can do 30 times 4 over 10, which is just 120 over 10, which is 12. And we can just add that to 30. So 30 plus 12. That gets you 42, and that's your answer. Next, 60 miles per hour equals how much feet per second? Alright, so we can see that there's 60 miles per hour here. So when you're converting from miles per hour to feet per second, there's something that very crucial that you need to know. 15 miles per hour is equal to 22 feet per second. If you know this, you can solve any of these problems. Alright, so 60 miles per hour. 60 is also just 15 times 4, meaning if we do the same thing to the other side, 22 times 4, we should get the amount of feet per second. 22 times 4 is 88, and that's your answer. Next, the dimensions of the rectangular prism below are dilated by a scale factor of 2. What is the new volume of the dilated rectangular prism? Alright, so all we have to do is multiply each of these dimensions by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 again, that's just 4. And 3 times 2 is 6. So now we have 4 by 4 by 6. We can just solve that multiplication. 4 times 4 is 16. And 16 times 6 is 36 plus 60, or 96. And that's your answer. Next, two sides of a triangle measure 5 inches and 11 inches. What is the largest possible integral length for the third side of the triangle? Alright. So if you have the side lengths of 5 and 11, something about triangles is that the two sides added up should always be greater than the third side. So in this case, 5 plus 11 equals 16. That means the third side has to be less than 15. So let's say the third side is x. So we're just looking for the greatest possible integral length for the third side. So the next number below 16 is 15. And that's your answer. Next, what is the equation for the axis of symmetry of the graph of the quadratic equation? 15 is equal to 4x plus 13 minus 2x squared. Alright, this is actually a very simple problem because all you have to do is just follow the formula negative b over 2a. Now first you need to find out what your b and a values are. So let's solve this problem quickly. So first let's bring the 15 to the other side. So we have 15 is equal to 4x plus 13 minus 2x squared. Alright, so let's rearrange this because you always want to go from the highest power term to the lowest power term. So negative 2x squared first, then you have positive 4x, and then you're subtracting 15 from both sides, so it becomes negative 2. Alright, so this now becomes negative 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 1. Alright, so now we can just solve for the negative b over 2a formula. So first we need to find out what our a, b, and c values are. So a is just the coefficient of the first term, x squared. Since there's nothing here, a is equal to 1 if there's nothing there. Next, b is the coefficient of the second term, negative 2x. So in this case, the coefficient is negative 2, so b is equal to negative 2. Now in this problem, we don't need the c for our axis of symmetry formula, but our c value is just the third number. Alright, now using these two values, we can solve. So negative of b, which is negative of negative 2, is just positive 2, divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. That means 2 over 2 is 1, and that's your answer. Next, what is the growth rate of the exponential growth function f of x is equal to 4.5 times 2.3 to the power of x? Alright, so all we have to do is take the number inside the parentheses, which is 2.3, and subtract 1, because they're asking for the growth rate. I actually have a full video just on exponential functions, which will be linked in the pin card at the top, but let's continue with this problem. So we can subtract 1 to find the growth rate, which is 1.3. However, we need to write this as percent. So if 1 is equal to 100%, that means 1.3 is equal to 130%. And that's your answer. Next, 3 over 5x plus 4 over 2x. Alright, so we have 3 over 5x plus 4 over 2x. This is actually a very simple problem. So we can see that if we multiply this one by 2, or the first one by 2, we can get both on the numerator and denominator, we can get 6 over 10x. And if you see, if you multiply the second one by 5 on both the numerator and denominator, we get 20 over 10x. Now, both of these are in the same common denominator, meaning we can now add them. So this becomes 26 over 10x. However, we can still simplify this further because both 26 and 10x can be divided by 2 to get 13 over 5x. And that's your answer. Next, a circle with the equation x plus 4 squared plus y minus 7 squared is equal to 256 is translated by the rule xy to x minus y, comma y plus 8. What are the new coordinates of the center of the circle after the translation? Alright, so first we need to find the coordinates of the circle. So if we look in this equation, we have x plus 4 and y minus 7. So if we take these numbers, the positive 4 and the negative 7, and just find the negative of those numbers, we can get the coordinates. So negative of 4 is negative 4, and negative of negative 7 is positive 7. So these are the coordinates of the center of the circle. Now we just need to apply the translation. So we have negative 9 onto x. So we just do negative 4 minus 9, which is negative 13. Then we do the y plus 8, which is 7 plus 8. That gets you 15. So now you're left with negative 13, 15, and that's your answer. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to show your support. These videos take a lot of effort to make, and I would really appreciate it.